Hi, welcome to my channel Galactic Bacon for another episode of my Elite Dangerous tutorials. If you enjoy this video, please remember to share, like and subscribe. And my video today is going to be an Elite Dangerous exploration money guide. I did an exploration beginner's guide some time ago and I thought this would be a good addition to it. If you've done some exploration, you will probably be aware that many objects that you scan probably won't earn you very much for your efforts, but there are certain objects that can earn you a lot of cash if you know what to look for. That's going to help you progress in the game. It's going to help your elite ranking and exploration a great deal as well. Now at the base level, if you use your advanced discovery scanner or honk when you enter a system, as it's usually called in Elite, you will get some cash for everything that you find. And this is great if you're travelling over long distances and you just want to honk and move on, but you will need to scan a lot of systems to make much money. The second level of making money in exploration is using the FSS, as it's called, the full spectrum scanner, to scan objects within the system, or alternatively target objects and then fly close to them. That is the other way of doing it, and this will certainly earn you more than a basic scan. And then the third level is doing a surface scan of objects, and this will certainly pay out the most. And in terms of the different types of objects, I'm going to show you a chart which is available on Frontier Forums, which is a useful reference guide, and I will leave a link in the description. When you enter a system, the easiest object that you're going to be able to scan is the main star or stars if there are several of them in that particular system, but unfortunately they're not worth that much, to be honest. Out of all of the stars available, a white dwarf is probably going to get you the most amount of money, and that varies between about 4,000 credits and 35,000. And the amount of credits that you get when you scan an object is determined by the mass of that object. So not every white dwarf is going to give you back the same amount that you scan. Neutron stars are certainly worthwhile scanning. If you find one of those, they can pay out up to about 54,000 credits, and also black holes as well. Although you would imagine, because it's quite a rare object in the game, that they would pay out more, but it is in fact about 60,000 credits. So black holes are not as lucrative as some other objects in the game. So after stars, the next most lucrative object is probably a class 2 gas giant, and you know, there are a lot of different types of gas giants. There are at least 5. There are 5 classes of gas giants in Elite Dangerous. There are water giants, helium-rich gas giants, etc. But it's really only the class 2s that pay out any decent money at all, and they range from about 7,000 credits for really small ones up to 53,000 credits at the higher end. And when I'm talking about the higher end, I'm talking about a complete scan of that object. So say for example you enter the system, you do a basic scan, you honk in other words, you're going to get a few thousand credits for that, even if there is a class 2 gas giant there. But if you use your FSS full spectrum scanner, or you fly up to the object to scan it, that could earn you up to about 22,000 credits depending on the size. But if you want to get the maximum from a gas 2 giant, you're going to have to actually do a surface scan, which is going to take more time, but that will pay out the most, and that applies to all the different objects that you scan in Elite Dangerous. So after gas giants, the next step up in terms of income is probably rocky bodies. Now, the most common type of body you're going to find in Elite Dangerous is probably an icy body. They really don't pay out much at all. Sometimes a few hundred, maybe 1,000 if you're lucky. But certain types of rocky body can actually pay out a substantial amount of money, but not all of them. So it's worth keeping that in mind. If an object is terraformable, and that will be indicated when you scan it. If it's terraformable, then it will pay out a substantially higher amount of money. And for a rocky body, that could be anything up to 694,000 credits, which is a huge amount. Imagine how many ordinary stars you would have to scan to earn that amount of cash. So these are certainly worth searching out if you know how. And if you compare that to a regular rocky body, you're talking about a few hundred. So most of these are not going to pay out very much at all, but if you find the right ones, especially if they're terraformable, they can pay out a huge amount of cash. Now you're probably wondering, how do I find out if something is terraformable or not? The answer to that is that the object must lie within the habitable zone of the star of which it orbits around. Now, I have another graphic I'm going to show you just now, and I will put a link to this in the description. It's quite helpful. You will be able to find other sort of versions of this, but this was probably the best laid out one that I found. It's a little chart that helps you to see which types of stars to look out for, which could have habitable planets, and how far away a planet would have to be in order for it to be terraformable. So this chart gives you some indications. O-class star at the highest end, the largest object there. You're talking about objects up to 99,000 light years away, would possibly, light seconds would be in the habitable zone, and then M-class stars, anything between 0.51 and 200. Now, there's no guarantee that an object that is within those zones is going to be habitable or terraformable, but the chances are that it will be, or the chances are increased if it falls within those bands. So now you need to apply that to both rocky worlds and some of the other ones I'm going to talk about just in a little minute. And if you find terraformable planets within those ranges around the star, you can make a lot of bank with those. So moving on, next one up is probably high metal content planets, and these can pay out quite a substantial amount of money. And for a typical high content planet, which you scan completely, so you do a full surface scan, you could earn up to about 34,000 credits. And if you find one that is terraformable, upwards of 400,000 credits is possible. So these are really good objects to look out for as well. Now, I probably have to point out that there are only certain types of high metal content planet that are terraformable. Some of them aren't, but there is a group of planets that are. Now, closely related to those, and they look very similar on the graphic representation in the map, are metal-rich planets, and these are generally not terraformable, but if you do a complete scan on one of these, a surface scan, it can pay out as much as 65,000 credits as well. Moving on, we have Earth-like worlds, and Earth-like worlds are obviously been terraformed already, and they are habitable, so they pay out 620 odd credits if you do a surface scan of these, so very lucrative indeed. And even if you just do a FSS scan on one of these objects, it's going to pay out over 200,000 credits, and again that's depending on the size of the object. Moving on, we have water worlds. Now water worlds vary quite a bit in size. You'll find in the game a basic scan when you enter a system, if there happens to be a water world in it, is still pretty good. You get 40,000 credits, up to almost 100,000 credits for those if it's terraformable. And a water world object that isn't terraformable, which you do a full surface scan on, you will earn about 300,000 credits for that. And then if it is terraformable, almost 700,000 credits is possible, which is fantastic if you find one of those. And then lastly, ammonia worlds, one of my favourite types to find, because they're not terraformable, so you can find them at various different distances from a star, and they pay out some serious money as well. A basic scan could earn you something in the region of 44,000. FSS scan perhaps about 130,000, and then a full surface scan over 300,000. Oh, I have seen these types of worlds earn me quite a bit more than that, especially the larger ones. So again, this all depends on size. It's a very rough guide, and the chart, I will leave a link in the description. You can go and have a look at that at your leisure. But hopefully this has given you an idea of the type of objects that you want to spend most of your time scanning when you're doing exploration. As I said at the beginning, most of the objects that you're going to find are not going to pay out that much, especially the stars. Most of the gas giants, most of the icy worlds are really not worthwhile unless you're really skin and you're starting out in the game and you just want to get some practice doing exploration and scanning. If you're serious about making money, then the objects that I've highlighted in this video are the ones that you want to concentrate on. Okay, so when putting all this stuff together, this is what my tactics tend to be. I will scan every system I go into, no matter what's there. Why wouldn't you? You're going to at least get some exploration data. I'll have a quick look at the system map. If there's anything interesting there, if there's more than one interesting object there, I will do a full spectrum scan. And then if there are particularly interesting objects that are going to earn a lot of cash, I will do a detailed surface scan on those. So you might find something that works better for you, but that's the basics. I think that will help you to earn the most amount of money for maybe the least amount of effort. You can of course do full spectrum scan on a whole system and scan every object if you want to do that to maximize your income, but that can be pretty time consuming, and it's really up to what you want to do. Okay. So I hope this video has been helpful for you today, and if you want to get more info about exploration, you should check out my Exploration for Beginners guide if you're starting out, and a link for that will appear in the top right hand corner of the video now. And also, if you're just starting out in Elite Dangerous and looking for some guidance, you should check out my Beginner's Guide playlist at the end of this video. And also, if you'd like to be notified about future videos, please subscribe and click the bell icon below. Check out the description as well for other videos, and feel free to leave any questions in the comments if there's anything I can help with. So thanks for watching, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.